Hello, welcome to Concerning Cremlings, a podcast where we dive deep into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere and beyond. Join us as we read through the Cosmere in a year in publication order. I'm Simon.
I'm Esther.
Elliot.
And I'm Joe.
In this week's episode, we will be discussing chapters 22 through the end, which includes the epilogue and the postscript. This episode may contain some spoilers. At this point, I'm honestly not sure because we might be talking about Hoyd and his exploration of the rest of the Cosmere. But yeah,
But
Well,
so
we can probably keep the Cosmere spoilers in
yeah,
just the Cosmere connections section.
they'll
that
be
sounds good.
bookmarked.
Yeah,
So
they'll be bookmarked. So I guess just the Cosmere Connections section would probably be the spoiler section. Okay, so overall impressions. What did we think? Starting with Simon, and then Joe after that with
So,
Joe.
based off of our earlier discussion, I feel like I might have liked the book the most. I
Okay.
I love this. I really love this book. I don't know what it is about it, but there's something that just captivates me
Hmm.
about it. I do think it is rough in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I think the story shines through a lot. And honestly, my rating would be 4 stars. I really like it.
Oh, wow.
So pretty high. Jonas.
I would say my rating,
oh,
I
is
would
he
say
lagging?
it's
Oh,
four
sorry.
stars. I would say my rating is 4 stars.
Okay.
Mostly because I believe it's flawed in some parts.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think he's written other books that are a little bit less flawed, but yeah, that's my rating.
Yeah, I think similarly, mine is like I want to say like 3.5 out of 5, just because I don't really feel like I can fully give it 4 because I think I like Warbreaker more as like one of his standalone Cosmere novels. Um, I think that for me, like the first time I read it, I remember like loving it so much. And the second
Yeah,
time
same.
through, I feel like it lost some of its charm. And I was like, oh, I'm seeing a lot of like the flaws and like the writing and kind of like now having read almost all of the Cosmere or like, 75% of it, like I can really see like comparing it to the other ones. But I do think it's a great book. And obviously we've all said that it's not his strongest work, but it's still like really good and it's a beautiful
It's
story.
It's
Um,
it's
yeah.
it's
To
pretty
add,
strong.
yeah,
it's
to add
better
to
than
my,
Watt.
Yeah, that's true. Wind and
it is
truth.
better than Watt.
That
Okay, can we call it not Watt? Because I always just
no,
think of Wheel of Time. That's what
that's
Wheel of Time
true.
is.
Fact.
That's
Yes,
that's
yes.
another horrible thing that Wind and Truth has done. It's stolen Wheel of Time's reputation.
Yeah.
To add one more thing to my rating, uh, the first time through, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it, and honestly, second time through, I enjoyed it just about the same. It's
Mhm.
just like I was able to see the flaws more clearly
Yeah.
than when I first read it. But that's all I
Mhm.
had to say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely think like I felt like after like consuming
Same.
Stormlight, like and like reading that multiple times and Mistborn, I just am like I feel like my expectations for him are so much higher. And also I feel like Elantris is a completely different like reading level too. Like I feel like it's a lot lower than like Stormlight. And so I don't know, like it's not like I'm saying
Well, the content isn't that
no,
lower.
yeah. The content is not that way, but the writing feels that way to me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, maybe
Uh,
it's a thing.
I'm just curious. When did you guys first like? How many Sanderson books had you read when you first read Elantris?
So I read Elantris or Elantris, like back in 2020, I want to say. And at that point, Rhythm of War hadn't come out. I had read the first three Stormlight books, and I had read, um, I think I had tried Mistborn, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I was just like kind of going through. So I think I read Elantris and Warbreaker back to back. Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed both of them. But yeah, at that point I had not read very much Sanderson. I don't know.
Um,
Okay.
I had I had read up through Oathbringer, and the first two Mistborn books.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
I was fairly deep in.
I'm like the exact same as Simon, but there's more Stormlight that I've read because they've come out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have read Wind and Truth.
What's would you say that Starlight is his biggest series, or would you say Mistborn?
Yeah, I think
This is a quick.
Stormlight's like his magnum opus, I think. And
Like
I think that's what he wants it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
like one Stormlight book is like the whole Mistborn trilogy, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it
much.
really is.
Like, yeah, he's writing 10 books of it. I
I
feel like
miss
he's
I miss the days when a Stormlight book would be exactly 1001 pages.
yeah.
Just because there's a
That
limit.
1,000 pages felt short compared to 13 to
Are we gonna
1,400.
fit like Wind and Truth slander into every single episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
'Cause
appropriate.
it's
I think
that
it's appropriate.
it's that effective.
Yeah, I mean, we're letting it like affect us like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. We're like just bringing it up all the time. Like we're just like this is horrible. We're just gonna keep talking about it.
The funniest thing is most of us like the book at least.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
like, but we
I
just have some things to say about it.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
reading Wind and Truth more than Elantris, but I mean I would say Elantris is a worse book. No, is a better book. If that
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
why is it 2 stars? But
Well, oh yeah,
we-
Okay,
my
Elliot-
rating.
Elliot,
we haven't done
yeah.
we haven't done me yet. I rated it 2 stars because I don't know. I just didn't feel emotionally attached to anything. I don't know. I'm a very feelings rater a lot. I'm not like so I'm like it feels like a 2 star book. I enjoyed it.
yeah,
It was captivating enough for me to read 200 pages in like one day.
yeah,
And it's still a feat for a book to be captivating enough to do that
yes.
but yeah, there was a lot of problems that I'll discuss. And okay, I would not say I'm pretentious. I'm not pretend. I don't think because I'm sitting. I read it. I'm willingly. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I've since I've started since I guess it's been almost 3 years since I first read a Sanderson book. Since I first read The Way of Kings, I've read a lot better authors, and so Brandon Sanderson has just fallen. I've viewed him less highly over
Yeah.
and I still think he does a lot of things really well, and there's a reason he's so popular. It's not for no reason, but sorry.
What a great way to just talk about our book, how much we don't like Brandon Sanderson.
I'm like, no, this is good. You guys are. I'm the Sanderson hater. I'm not a Sanderson hater.
Yeah, which
but
is good because I'm the opposite where I'm like every book that I've
yeah,
read is whatever. So we need a balance.
yeah.
I just want to say I don't know why, but this book got me really excited to read more of the Cosmere again because of how much I enjoyed it. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but I think my main takeaway is that it has me excited for reading Warbreaker again and Stormlight again.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, I definitely think that you just have such a short time with the characters too. And so I think for me, like, I'm always left wanting more. And so I'm like, oh, like with, Way of Kings or whatever else, like, you have so much time that you're spending with the characters. I mean, Wind and Truth took me almost like a month to read because I had other stuff going on, but also because I just wanted to take my time. And and while we don't necessarily love that book as much, it just was nice to like be able to really explore the storyline like in that like big of a way. And I mean, obviously, it's like 1,200 pages, so that makes sense. But yeah, so it's interesting like reading smaller books and not having as much time with the characters.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I was just thinking, Elantris is 2,000 words,
Mhm.
and to kill a mockingbird, that's 1,100. Sorry, did I say 2,000 words? I mean 200,000 words.
Yeah, I was like, that's really small.
200,000 words. To kill a mockingbird, for example, is 100,000 words. That's half the time with the characters. But still, I feel like I
Yeah.
don't mean to hate on Sanderson. I don't know, but I feel like it's an adequate amount of time.
He,
Oh no,
yeah,
sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to like be like,
All right. Before
no.
we get
Sorry.
No,
before
you're
we
fine.
get into too like specific criticisms or like
Yep.
discussions, maybe we should start with our
Oh yeah.
summary section, and then we can go to like world building and characters and stuff like that.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh, Vertigo has joined the
We're leaving this in.
Yeah, we are.
Wow.
Maybe
This is
just
how we
a
start.
So what
Like,
happened in this book? What happened in the second half, at least, with each character?
um
Do you guys remember?
yeah.
I
I
Just
just didn't know if you guys
kidding.
would say.
No, no. So I guess I'll start.
Okay.
So Raiden continues building the new Elantris.
Mhm.
He unites Sheor, and
Mhm.
lots of stuff happens. But at the end of the day, he discovers the mystery of the Aeons and is able to save Elantris basically.
Yeah.
And Serenity,
Serene.
uh, Serenity and Horizon
Serene.
continue their like
wait,
I
how do
don't
you
know.
pronounce it?
I thought
I
it was
don't know.
you guys told me it was
Serene.
Serene.
Yeah, yeah. At first I thought it was Serene, and then you guys were like, no, it's Serene. So I was like, okay.
I thought it was Serene too. But you
Yeah.
guys I thought.
I've been saying Serene,
I'm
Yeah,
gonna look up.
but it could be wrong.
Serene. She's from Italy, plot twist.
Serene.
it's
Serene.
Okay.
your Duolingo is
Hey.
seeping into
Yeah,
your account.
have you noticed? I did it in like December and I missed a day. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done with Duolingo.
No, that literally is what I did too.
Okay, it's Serene. Serene.
Serene?
Oh
Serene.
wait, no,
Ene?
it's Serene. I don't know. It
I
says
want to say
both.
Serene. I want to say Serene.
Which means
Serene sounds right.
Let's stick with
is
Serene.
Haigatsu.
Yeah, because when Evan
Arlene?
did like NA, like that makes more sense than
Wait,
E. Like that's weird.
apparently
Eid.
harassment is Freythin.
That's what I've been saying the whole time. Prathan. That's what I told you it was.
Prathan.
Well, I thought we agreed on that. Well, stop.
We're
Okay.
leaving this in too.
We're clipping this.
The dogs are joining the chat too. No.
See, okay. We only have like 3 minutes left in this
Okay.
meeting.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
she like ends up doing a lot of different things with the politics there. I'm trying to figure out how concise we need to make this. And she kind of has like a couple different well, first of all, she has her widow's trial. She ends up doing her widow's trial by going into Elantris and giving them food because she thinks that's going to be really helpful. Obviously, we know that like Raiden has been working hard to get them to not have their mind just fixated on that, and so they end up meeting each other. But obviously, she doesn't know that he's Raiden. He says he's Spirit or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have like basically they like are able to like become friends over a long period of time. But in between that, she like is kind of having a crisis because she's like, oh, I'm never gonna get married. Like nobody wants me, nobody loves me. Um, and then the whole thing happens with Sheor like attacking um her while she's in Elantris trying to get food. So she never goes back, or she thinks she'll never go back to Elantris. But then, shoot, whatever happens after that. Then she ends up going to the ball, and Royal is like, well, because the stuff with Aiden happens where he like ends up killing himself, and so then they're like, okay, well now we need a king. We don't want is it Telrai or Telri?
I was Telrai.
I've been
I've
saying
been-
Telrai.
Okay.
I've been saying Telrii.
Telri.
Well, if it's Telrai, then it's
So anyway,
Keaton.
so Telrai is like
Well,
That's how I pronounced
Keaton.
Keaton at first.
Well,
I thought
no,
it was.
Keaton.
but
It's
Sanderson
Keaton.
said it's Kine.
yeah,
I know.
That's-
So shouldn't it be
Kind.
Telrai?
yeah.
It should be
Yeah, so
Telrai.
by that logic, I
That's
thought it was Telrai.
Kind.
Okay, so
Telrai.
Telrai's like, oh,
That's
I'm gonna
all.
try to swoop in because I've been waiting for this for my whole life. And they're like, actually, Royal, is it Royal and Serene are then like,
Royal.
They're gonna get married. They were gonna get married.
convenient of political gain. And he's like, actually, like, you're really great, you're really wonderful, whatever. Well, then supposedly the Shaod comes upon her on her wedding day when she lifts up her veil. Turns out Hrathen had given her a poison or something, and essentially she's thrown into Elantris, gets to know Raoden, less to aka Spirit more, and then a lot of stuff happens, and then they get married, and
The end.
Well, and then you missed the best part, right?
because of less than a minute's left.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll just say.
Rythan?
Well, I just want to say. Sorry, you go.
Speak, boy.
So Hrathen, during all this, his tension has been rising with Dilaf, and
Yes,
and basically he poisons himself, pretends to be an Elantrian, and then it turns out he's not an Elantrian,
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff happens. And by the end of the book, he rejects Wyrn and saves Serene, and
He's
then
actually
he
a hero.
sacrifices himself to save Serene by strangling Dilaf with one hand. Just
Yeah.
the coolest part in the book, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Have any of you guys tried reading a Cosmere book?
Have any of us tried reading a Cosmere book?
I cried.
Oh, no,
probably in Stormlight.
Okay.
I don't think.
Well,
I don't remember though.
I think with Kaladin, one of Kaladin's stuff where when he was trying to challenge Elhokar and he got shoved into jail.
I don't think a book has ever made me cry.
He was trying to challenge Amryn.
Yeah, I
think it was only
First
during
time
that
the book
perspective.
made me cry was when
There's about to be serious spoilers for Harry Potter up to book 5. So if you haven't read that, skip like 10 seconds, and then you're good. Cool.
Sirius Black died.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Spoilers. No.
Yeah, spoilers.
I think we can. We can keep this in.
Yeah.
This is good.
I can't roll my eyes
This is
enough.
random content that'll make people laugh, hopefully.
But
yeah,
you didn't.
Sorry, wait.
the most in Wind and Truth, as
You
opposed
cried?
to any of the other ones. Yes.
Really?
I did cry in Wind and Truth because of how
That's
bad it was.
interesting.
Sorry, I think I did cry when I read where Red Fern Grows, actually. Where the Red Fern grows.
Okay, but you were like 8.
I was 8. So I'm emotionless now.
I haven't cried since I was 8. We have a friend who says they haven't cried since they were 12.
No, he said 6. He said 6.
No way. How old is he?
He's 18.
Simon's comment be like, "You haven't cried since you were 8."
Oh my god.
My diss.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think like other books like I cried. You guys will probably never read this series in your entire life. But it's literally
Elliot, stop.
What is going on?
Elliot, we're being recorded.
We're being recorded. Okay, so
What is he doing?
I was trying to look backwards, but it didn't work.
Okay, Esther, keep going.
Sorry, so there was this series called The Russians, and it's literally the dumbest name.
Have you ever seen that?
It was a really good book.
Have you ever seen that one Vine where
And-
it's
Yeah.
like,
Anyway, so essentially what happens is
Hmm.
it's about like the aristocrat versus like peasant perspective in like the early 1900s when like they were like about to overturn like the rule and like what's his face? It starts with an L. Oh my gosh.
Bullshit.
What is happening?
Bolshevik
Jonas.
Revolution. Thank you. Before the Bolshevik Revolution was gonna happen, it was like historical fiction. Essentially, in one of the Bolshevik Revolution, whatever they're called,
Bolsheviks.
this person's husband dies,
Oh.
and it's like super sad. And I did cry reading that.
I
think I cried during Red Wall.
I cried. Oh, I cried in The
You
Hero of
cried in every
Ages.
book, Esther.
When
spoilers. I haven't read it.
I almost spoiled a big thing.
I definitely. I think this book that's made me cry the most out of any book I've ever read, is The Dark Tower by Stephen King, the last book in the series.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That one's brutal. That one's so sad.
I didn't shed tears, but I was really sad. We should read The Dark Tower for this. I don't know
Also,
if you guys...
11,
We
22,
Cannot See?
63.
Have you guys read All the Light We Cannot See?
I haven't.
That one didn't make me cry. That one just made me feel.
I did.
empty.
I did
That's what I'm
remember...
saying. I felt empty inside, and literally the entire day I just was like,
I was just like staring at a wall.
Yeah.
No?
I did remember. I read The Book Thief this summer, and I did cry
Oh,
for
I
that.
threw that book across the room. That book is so sad too.
It's
Yeah, that is
so
sad.
Because you
okay.
get to the whole book and then you get to the very end and you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, it's such
Oh,
a.
okay. So actually you hate us.
By the way, if you're still here, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment.
Um,
Back to
we're not
Elantris.
beating the Gen Z
I've just not
allegations
even
or
been
that Gen
looking at
Alpha.
the bottom right corner of the computer screen, so I don't even know what's going on, but I think that Jonas needs Adderall. That's what I think needs to happen.
You said
Okay,
that.
let's get back on track with
Last
talking
week.
about
Like and
Elantris.
subscribe, please.
No, yeah, no, that's gonna be our every time. At the very end, Elliot, it's
Hmm.
gonna say, and then it'll be like, thank you for watching, and then it's gonna be Jonas going, like and subscribe.
Wow. The first section we have is world building.
Okay.
This is one of Sanderson's strong suits.
Mm.
So, what did you guys think of the world building? The world building or the world?
Like magic building, honestly, though, you could call it too.
Yeah, but I guess we could tie the magic system into the world
Yeah,
building.
because
That's part of it.
both of
Yeah.
them, there's not very much to talk about with. Well, I guess it's not like as like distinct as some of his other book series with like customs and like that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, like we see like, the different like stereotypes of different cultures, but like we don't like is it the doulas, right?
Hula
The
Dell.
doulas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how like, they're like a farming community and they're generally like pretty happy. Like Galadon is like the exception to that. Or like Andel,
Sportive.
where's he from again? That's like okay with fighting. That's like okay with fencing.
Jindu?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Jindo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Jindo.
thought. So yeah, like there's that.
No.
Like, is that what you're talking about? Like the
Yeah,
culture?
just the world building, the world he
Yeah.
created, and all.
I think
Yeah,
it
the
was pretty
cultures.
like standard and basic for like a fantasy book. Like I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it was like outstanding. I mean, I think you have like the general like women
think
do this, men do this, like, gender differences.
I think the largest world like culture and people and custom building that he's done is in Stormlight. Like I'm trying to think
Yeah,
like
for
this is
sure. But I think there's a misconception that world building needs to be like as deep as Lord of the Rings. That's
Yeah.
not true. You
Yes, it
you
does.
don't not every fantasy book has the time or not every author has their entire life to develop one
Yeah.
novel. So
Yeah.
I think this book does exactly what it needs to
Yeah,
do.
for sure. It
Like
gets the job done.
it gets the job done. And also I think the world building um goes more than is deeper than just fantasy. I think every book has world building, and what I mean by that is the relationship the narrator has with the reader, and
Mhm.
and that we could like delve into that as like writing, like what writing
Mhm.
is, but like one of the like most important things about writing a book is like establishing a relationship with the reader, and I think Sanderson does a pretty good job with that here, with the like narrator's voice,
Yeah.
just it's like immersing us into the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one. This is really nitpicky. I don't. There was. There was one point. I can't remember if it was when Serena was talking about Royal, or if it was in the last chap. I think it was when she was thinking about Royal. She was like, she called him her fiance, and I'm like, that's a French word. You can't use that.
yeah, it's
Okay,
exactly.
so
And I'm like,
this actually ties into something Sanderson has talks about a lot, and we'll talk about this a lot
what? It's
when
supposed
we
to be
get to
like
Stormlight and Women's Truth.
translated.
Yeah,
It's a
he
modern.
like it's the same thing as what Tolkien does basically, where Brandon Sanderson is writing it as if he's translating it into modern language, and so he's gonna use like modern
Yeah.
terms, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, stuff like that just takes me out of the story. Not completely.
I don't think that's actually
Elliot,
I
be
don't think
like,
that's fair
For
to
the word
you can't say
fiance, that's like a little like what is he supposed to say?
yeah.
Instead of engaged to be married,
just died.
we're gonna create a whole new world, like new word to describe
No,
what that.
I
I
don't.
think there's a
It's not. Actually, Elantris was 5 out of 5, but then he used fiance, and it went to a 2 out of 5. No, it's not a big
If he
problem.
mentioned iPhone, I would have
So
given it, but
He
my
would he would
my
have done that in Wind and Truth, but its editors wouldn't let him.
yes, yes,
That's the one thing they cut.
yeah. Yonigan
my
is about to like be scrolling on TikTok, but he was like, I can't add that
Did a
in.
storm phone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
well, you know what
Sorry.
they have on a you know what they have on Elantris?
They have
They have a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what
oh
I hated the
Time for
most
the
about
peons.
his about Sanderson's Fabrial theories? Like that's not a spoiler, but like just the magic system in Stormlight, he just the scientific quandaries and the scientific theories, he just stole them from the scientific theories and then
Well,
just translated them into
Jonas, I love how
Stormlight.
Jonas is mad about that.
because
Like
also I
invent
got
your own.
excited when
So,
I
no, yeah, I'm Sanderson. If you're watching this, great job. Like
I love you.
it's
Sorry.
a new sense of
Uh,
magic requires
What
a
well,
if
new sense of theories.
I think what was fun is like for me, like similar to what Elliot was saying, when he was like, yeah, and so the door is just bursting at the seams, and so it moves from an area of high concentration to low concentration. And I was like, whoa, 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 why is like osmosis and diffusion getting its way into this book too?
Well,
it's
so
like
okay, can I bring up one
Which
of
like it's
my
fine, but I just thought it was funny because I'm studying that and like everything else in my classes, and so then I'm like, oh, it's in my
yeah.
reading too.
Yeah, I don't want to read it.
low
One
concentration means diffusion. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
sorry. One one criticism I have with this book, and I guess you could say Sanderson's works as a whole, but it's apparent in this book and Wind and Truth, I think the most is Sanderson will use, as we talked about, a lot of modern terminology in his like dialogue and his
Yeah.
descriptions, and I think I like what he said about um it like being translated from another language. But my problem with it comes with when it's like almost too modern and it like, as Elliot said, it takes you out. And I feel like if he's gonna draw the comparison to Tolkien, Tolkien uses like timeless language in his
Yeah.
like in Lord of the Rings. So like if you can read it at any age and you'll be fine. And I
Mhm.
think Robert Jordan also does a good job with this. But with
Okay.
Sanderson, when he says like something, I think he describes in this book something being insanely good. Like that is such a modern way to say something.
Yeah.
And like you would never catch Tolkien saying that or like, you
What
know?
did
Well, it's like that's why you
Mosh
can't
edit
understand
this book?
Shakespeare as much because he just used modern-ish lingo at the time. That's why you can't understand
yeah.
some people during the Constitution, and you can't understand,
But
essays done by Florence
there's a
Nightingale.
reason Shakespeare's being read still, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
500 years later.
Yeah, it's like
Esther, most did edit this one, if that's
He
what you're
did?
Yeah,
asking.
Okay. So like, do you think ultimately
it's just Sanderson's writing.
It's just
yeah.
how
Like,
he writes. Like,
yeah.
so this, if you want like the polar opposite, I have, this is my, like one of my favorite authors. This is Gene Wolfe. This
You
is the
talk about
second.
him every time.
That's because I love him.
Okay.
This is actually the second half. I'm lending the first half of this is the Book of the New Sun. But this is like literally the polar opposite where like
Yeah.
half the words are made up and you have to figure it out for it's hard to it's
see
Yeah.
that's kind of what
It's
Tolkien.
like
He doesn't have half the words aren't made up, but like some of the
I think
time he'll just use a word from his
yeah.
language to
I
just
But
think
you
describe something.
do you guys know
Tolkien is a
when
healthy middle.
but do you
yeah.
guys know when fantasy books will be like saying thee and thou art my, like it starts to get into that. I think that's just as bad as like being too modern.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and Ellie, like Ellie said, Tolkien's like a perfect middle of that.
Mm.
But
Although this isn't bad, I don't think, because it really
well,
immerses you a ton.
Gene Wolfe is a genius,
He
and
is a
so that's the
genius.
difference.
We are doing the solar cycle, which is his like big series. We're doing that on this eventually, maybe in
Okay.
like a year and a
I saw
half.
you put it on the Google Doc. Yeah.
Maybe
I,
after Wheel of Time or like
yeah,
during Wheel of Time or
but
In
something.
it's
like
like
3 years.
this what we have to do it. Okay, I'll edit this out. But we have to like we'd have to do like 8 chapters a week. The chapters are short, but because it's like that, it's super dense. So like
Okay.
it, like we'll read like a little. I don't know. That's in like a
Okay,
year and a half.
we can talk about this
We can
later.
talk about this later. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good.
Does
Um,
anyone? Sorry.
Anything
I,
about
no, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts on the world or world building?
I did like how
Make it.
I liked how the world building was like connect. The magic system was like the whole plot about like how it's connected to the
Yeah.
world, and like I've not that's something I've never seen done before.
hmm
As
Yeah, it's interesting
Yeah, it
and
was.
sorry.
hmm
So no, you go ahead, you're fine.
No, it's like the magic system's tied to the land, which was in
Yeah.
like a way, in a very unique way, which I
yeah,
thought that was cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have his book club questions from like his website, and he has a question like about the magic, and he was saying like, did you like the scientific approach to magic, or would you have preferred something more mystical, which is what we were literally just talking about? And then he was like, what parts did you find unimportant in the magic system? Which I think is a good question. Was there parts of it that you were just kind of like,
Hmm.
we don't need that, like that just felt extra?
um,
Honestly, not for this book.
no, not
Yeah.
really.
I think the magic is really good in this, and it's different from his other books. This one is a little more laid back
Yeah.
Yeah,
than something like Allomancy.
yeah.
Oh,
Most of
right.
like what
There's
like in Mistborn and Stormlight, it kind of works. This isn't really a spoiler. Um, it kind of works like you have these
Sponsored by
powers and
Chick-fil-A.
yeah, we wish.
dude, I was so sleepy this afternoon because Chick-fil-A it makes you so sleepy. I don't know why. But sorry,
If
in
you eat
like
too much of it, that's what
yeah,
happens to me when
in
I eat too much
Stormlight,
of it.
in Stormlight and Mistborn, like it's kind of like you have like this fuel, and then that's kind of the limiter. I guess
Yep.
maybe that's a con because there's no limiter, but maybe I don't know. The limiter is kind of the complexity, and I don't. What do you think? Actually,
Yeah.
here's a question. What do you think limits it? Like
This
Um,
just like
magic,
the nature of it, or like I don't know.
well,
just you have to. Sorry, you go.
oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this one you have to finesse it. It's like you have
Yeah,
to be able to draw the aeons exactly
that's what I was
perfect,
gonna say.
or
Yeah,
else you're gonna accidentally transport yourself into a brick wall, or like set someone on fire, or like kill
Yes.
yourself. So it's
Well, 'cause
like you have.
that's what I thought was interesting is like obviously there is not as much like, you have the characters in Mistborn, they're having to do like, these little training sessions, and it's kind of like, yeah, like we'll put in some practice into it, but like ultimately we just like, drink the contents and then have our fuel, or we get
yeah.
the infused spheres of Stormlight. But like with this, there's not like a necessarily a limit on the power or like the core or whatever, but it's like their actual physical ability. So like they have to like put in time to practice the Aeons.
I
Right?
mean, that's how it kind of is in Mistborn in Storm. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
we just
like
I don't
it's not
know.
as, like the
Um,
consequences aren't as like life threatening, I feel
Yeah,
like.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
do you guys know like this is kind of extremely extreme nerd terminology, but do you guys know like the difference between soft and hard magic? Do you guys know what I mean when I say that?
I feel like that's
No.
not too extreme. So soft magic is like Tolkien, where like he doesn't explain really how. Like we don't know how Gandalf does magic. He just does
Yeah, he just
magic.
does it.
He
Yeah.
does it, and we're like, okay. And then hard magic is
Yeah,
like Sanderson, where like he's got
Oh
charts
yeah,
in the
okay.
back explaining this is how
Yeah.
it. Hard,
Gladriel also like, explains some
yeah.
functions of the ring, though.
All of pretty much
Would
all
Air
of. Sorry.
Wait, does Aragon have because like the elves have
Yeah, it's
right, so
hard
that would
magic.
be soft.
Aragon's kind of hard.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. And so Brandon Sanderson obviously goes full on into hard magic systems. And a lot of the times,
Jonas, what are you doing?
What is he doing? What? He's just
Wait,
smiling.
no, he made this weird face at me.
okay, not to be too intellectual, but what's his name? Arthur C. Clarke says
Wait,
that,
who wrote
sorry,
what did he
Arthur
write?
C. Clarke is actually he's a science fiction writer.
He
Oh.
wrote Sherlock Holmes.
Sorry, give me a second to pull up
Oh,
a quote.
wait, no, he didn't.
No,
What?
he didn't. No, that was Conan Arthur Doyle.
Oh.
Conan something Doyle.
Okay,
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah,
That
so
Arthur.
guy.
Arthur C.
Yeah,
Clarke
wrong order.
says the science fiction writer who wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
as well as countless other classics in the
Oh,
genre.
okay, I know that now. Okay.
Um, Rendezvous with Rama. Anyway, he says any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Um, and that is a quote I think that resonates strongly with Sanderson
Yeah.
because almost all his magic systems are like a science in his world
Yeah.
that the people utilize as magic.
Yeah.
It's study,
And
basically.
but like Tolkien doesn't do that. So
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. I don't know
Do
if
you
it's I don't
do you
think it's
think
good or
sorry.
bad. I don't know.
Do you think that like when a magic system like it there's so much there's
What?
so much chart like when does it stop becoming magic and become like science, just science from another world? Like
So
I
like
don't know.
fabrials are my opinion technology, whereas
Yeah.
surges are magic.
So, but what separates them, do you think?
I think fabrials
Because
is because engineers
I
use
don't
them.
They're
I don't
just
think there is a separation. I just think it's how the worlds work.
oh, okay.
I
I
think
think we'll
Sanderson
see like
writes as if the magic is like technology that they understand.
Yeah.
I just think that like engineers are always talked about understanding fabrials, whereas surges are only used if you're like a surge binder, like which just means you have a superpower, and that can only happen if you use this form of magic.
I guess
Like
that's
we don't think of
true.
Batman with superpowers, even though he has a bunch of technology. You don't think of Lex Luthor as stuff, but like fabrials
That
are magic, but
yeah.
they're kind of
It's
That's
like
the only
technology.
thing that's always confusing
that's
about Fabulols is I was like, what, like, because they're using Stormlight, right? But why does Yasna have a particular ability with it versus like just a regular person? If it's not necessarily that you have to be,
I think
you
I think
know?
this is a question for when
I
we get to
think
Sorry.
I
Stormlight.
think we can delve into this
Sorry.
when we get to Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move
No
on.
worries. No.
Let me make a
Okay,
note for
yeah. Let's
this.
All
move
right.
on from
Anything?
world building or anything
Um.
else.
No, we're good.
All
No.
right,
Let's go to
characters.
characters.
I have
Oh,
some
yes.
thoughts.
I
All
think
right,
the
go ahead,
character.
Elliot.
Should I
Yeah.
start off?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
because you're the
have
most critical.
um so I think no, there was a couple for me. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. But honestly, I noticed that Raoden and Serene are kind of like the same person. Just like
I
I
I
just
they're
no. That's
honestly.
not true. That's not
That's
true.
not
wait.
true though.
Not
Okay,
true.
Jonas
No.
agrees with me, but Esther and Simon don't.
Because they're
No. Not at
Wait,
just
all.
so kind of like
They're so different.
how are
okay.
they?
Actually, Rayoden's more likable.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I hate Serenit. Sorry. I don't like Serene.
What's different about them?
She was so
So like
annoying. She was so
you
annoying.
hate Serene.
I don't hate. Okay.
I don't
To
hate
what
Hate's a
Serene.
degree? Like, all
hate's
right,
a strong word.
She demands intellectual respect and then can't
Hey
understand
man,
that Rayoden is the guy who's spirit. Like what the
hey
heck?
hey man, I
Okay.
don't hate anyone. I'm all about that love, you know? Sorry, that was my hippie impression.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to have your nose inside the camera.
okay. Yeah. Wait, what do you think? What? Because like, okay, think about it. They're both like special. We're like they cut like so they
No, they're
both.
not. They're normal people.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
That's the whole point.
She's
That's the whole point.
plain. Nobody likes her. She's boxy. She's not like the rest of the women that are around
Oh,
her. Not because
that's
she's
so
pretty,
true.
because her figure is completely different. She feels like her face is too plain, and she like has like stick straight hair. Like she doesn't have like features like all the other
That
girls
is
do.
true. I'm just
And
dumb.
like
That's
people
they're
like people in like the society, they're like, oh, like they like a delicate woman who like does this and they do, whatever, like they're really nice and they don't like have a lot to say. And Serene is just like constantly talking and is like I wouldn't say she's like as intelligent as Yasna, but she definitely like has dedicated time into like learning about other countries like political um
In her
like
own
people
words, she's
like
grasped complex advanced mathematical Jindo systems.
never say that to me again. No,
That's what she
okay,
said. That's her
well,
words. That's her own
anyway,
words.
my
I
it's
point
confirmed
not.
it in the
is
book.
like
It's not.
That's
Yeah.
how stupid it is.
she's doing the best she can, but she's doing that all because she is extremely insecure, okay? Like, probably one of the most insecure characters that Brandon's written. But then you come over to Raiden, and this
Behind.
man is like Adeline, kind of, but like
Yeah.
a little
That's
bit
a good
different.
Wait,
comparison.
I just realized Raoden and Serene are kind of like Adeline and Shallan
That's what
Light.
Jonas and I were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
Oh,
They kind of
That's
literally
true.
are.
Because
Except
obviously,
Serene
like,
does. Sorry.
Sorry, no, you're good.
Except Serena doesn't have like an insane backstory.
Yeah, because
No,
Serenity
And
has
she's not
a lot of
likable
parents that she
like
faces.
Shalon is.
Like, that's great.
arguably Shalon isn't likable either, but I
Okay,
like Shalon.
stop
But
talking
she
about
admits her
Shalon.
faults. Serenity never
Sorry,
does.
Anyway, the
sorry.
point is that Raiden and her are not the same
Yeah,
because
actually,
he has this
So they're
confidence.
actually,
He loves
they're act.
listening.
can I
Yeah,
say
Sorry.
they
something?
actually. No.
Um,
Um.
E-
Yeah, go ahead.
Esther, as you're talking, you made it actually. Hopefully, you weren't about to say this because I don't want to steal your
Oh,
thunder.
okay.
But Serena and Raiden are almost foils of each other in an interesting way. Because Serena is like, in her like at least in her eyes, she's like an outcast. She's like not normal. And
Mhm.
Raiden is like the most likable guy ever. Everyone
Yeah.
loves him.
Uh-huh.
Everyone can rally behind him. And so there's two people from different spectrums of like just like social status, and
Mhm.
yet they're like perfect matches for each other.
Oh, yeah. And like even I love how like that part when she's like so mad. What's his name when he's like impersonating the
Kalu.
Kalu. Yeah,
Kalu.
I was gonna say Kalu. So Kalu, when he's impersonating him, and even then, he like gets into the meeting and he's so likable. And she's like, "You literally talked to Royale one time. Like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Like, I've had to earn my way, you know." And he's just like able to just slide in, and everyone's like fawning over him, you know. And it's like, and he's not even technically like Raiden at that point, or like being claiming to be Raiden.
Mhm.
Anyway, all that to say, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like they just match each other so well. And like something that I really loved about the book is the two or three chapters that they're together in Elantris when she
Mm.
like right after she has the Shaod come upon her. And like literally, I like love those chapters so much because like she's just like genuinely being herself. Like she's not like looking, as beautiful as she was in like her royal clothes or whatever. But he's just like staring into her eyes and he's just like, I like love everything about this person. And I was like, that is
Yeah.
so sweet. Like that's one of the best written parts of the book.
I
Anyway,
have
go.
something. I have something to say. Let me put my hand down. Uh,
Your hand, I didn't even see it. How did we see that?
if you go to React, you can put your hand up. But
Uh, okay.
um, yeah, okay. I'm turning this con into a pro, so maybe my score will go up. But Ray, but Raiden and Shalon, not Shalon, Serene.
Wait. Oh.
I like.
Raiden and Serene are kind of like the exact opposite person, but they do the exact same thing, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So like Raiden is super likable and Raiden is super likable and stuff, and everyone loves him. And Serene is like an outcast, but they both like Raiden goes into Elantris and he like changes it and like immediately he changes it for the better and he makes
Yeah.
it different. And Serene does the same thing to
Yeah.
Arlan. She comes in
But
and she
they're
changes
both
it.
givers, but they have different
Yeah,
personalities.
but yeah,
She sorry, I
Keep
can't
going.
say that.
Oh, never
I
mind.
have I have wait, I'm looking at my character
What were you
points
gonna
really quick.
say?
Can I say one thing about Serene that
I'll
I
just say
hated?
Raiden gives hope and she gives crap.
There we go. Can I talk about Can I get my feelings out about Serene?
Okay, ready?
I couldn't stand her in the second part of the book. I don't know why. She just got my nerves so much. Like it just like she was so annoying to me. And I think it was because every time Raiden tried to do something good, she would just immediately cut it down. Like when Raiden like she came in with the food and she always
Yeah.
assumes the worst.
That part
Like
was
you
annoying.
understand, you know? And
That
then
part
Yeah.
was
And yeah,
I
she wasn't
maybe
like,
my
hey, Spirit, should I do this or not? Is this
and
okay?
then And then it gets even worse when Raiden pretending to be a doula, and like she was trying so hard to like communicate to her that hey, I'm spirit, but she would like flag down everything he was doing, and then she stabbed him. He's in a
yeah.
launchering. It hurts forever, and then
She
she
didn't I mean
stabs him.
she
She
didn't
didn't
know he
know.
was in a
I
launcher,
don't,
but
Yeah.
but still,
Again,
she
where's
should
her
at least
intellectual
she
capacity now?
again.
Jonas,
Okay,
She always
would
no
you
no
have
let
done
She
I wouldn't
always
have stabbed
assumes the
anyone.
worst. She immediately
that's
thought, "Hey, this
well,
guy
okay. Is
sucks."
that just simply all right, who do we have that's a pessimist like Jonas? Or a realist?
Hmm?
Like because I'm an eternal optimist.
So am
What are
I,
you?
to be honest.
I
Like,
like to think I'm an optimist.
like,
Okay. So like
in the
I feel like for me, I like deeply relate to like Raiden's approach to Elantris. We're gonna fix what we can,
Mhm.
we're gonna do what we can. I'm gonna hide that I'm actually having problems. No one's gonna know until I'm like seizing on the floor. Like that
Yeah.
Eidolon,
thing.
basically.
Yeah.
Or
Versus
Eidolon's
like
son.
being like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is horrible. But yeah, so I wouldn't say that she's like a pessimist, but I definitely think that she, like you said, she's very critical. And like to your point, Elliot, about her being like, she seems like she's too aware. I think it's just because she's that critical a person and she's hardened to like her life because she has felt rejection from so many
Mm,
people. And like that's formed her to immediately assume if I like even try to come out of my shell a little bit, I'm gonna be rejected. And
yeah.
so like I think for me, I
Oh.
was like, it was annoying and I was watching her like fall and fail like multiple times. I just was like, but ultimately I felt like I was like, I know why she's doing that though. So like I wasn't as annoyed by it as
Mm,
like other things, but
But
yeah, it's
like,
kind of stupid.
also, it's like Esther, you compared her to Yasna a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's like,
hmm.
I don't think it's the
Yasna,
same intellectual
but
level,
no,
but
but like no, but Yasna is like so insecure,
yeah.
but then portrays this mask of
Yeah.
confidence,
Did
and
did
eventually it comes crashing down.
um no, I was
Just
just gonna ask
yeah.
this. Was there any point where Serene actually failed?
I think
Like I
she
was thinking
Yeah,
of
I think
she
so.
What do you
felt
mean?
like a failure
She
in
literally
what
alerted Iodon.
I don't know about what.
she
She
what?
did. She did actually. Yeah, she.
She
You could
she
say what?
fell on the incline. Like,
What?
how do you like? There was an incline on this little bit of the sewer. I remember
You
that
she literally
because I'm
fell over.
slowly reading it,
Oh, she
and she's
actually
like,
fell over.
Yeah, no,
"Let me
that
watch
that
this." See, she was like this. She was like, you know, it was
That's
like,
her
come on,
character
man.
flaw.
How do you not
Here, well, how do you
know
miss the
what to
step
do?
in the sewer, no less, with your, velvet dress? Gosh.
um
I understand. She had the
I
correct hunch. Okay, I'll give her that. She was
So,
very discerning.
okay, the
she
thing
did.
about can I say something about this is about Serene and Raiden?
Yeah,
It's they're both like good people, and that's the point. They're not supposed to have like character arcs.
Yep.
They're just like good people thrust into messy situations, and
It's
that's
like
the
the arc of
point
the
of the book.
situation, really. It's
Yeah.
that
it's the arc of the
And that's the
Elantris,
thing,
really.
like you're saying, that's so important, is it's like,
I feel like I didn't care about any of the characters. Like I'm thinking about the characters that died. So like Royal,
hmm
like I can't even remember. Oh,
yeah.
Hrathen, who else? Karada. Like when they died, I no reaction. I was just like, oh, they're dead now. I didn't feel it.
Oh my
Like even Hrathen, I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, I think that like you can feel like a sense of like wow, like that's really cool like to see his like character development, but you're not like attached to him.
Well, the first time I watched it, and the first
Yeah.
time I
Jonas is
read
a
it,
movie that we don't know about.
it feels like I'm watching it though. It feels like I'm watching it.
That's real.
So the first time I read it, it felt, you know, it was really moving. And I mean, you kind of like, how Elliot, how you said last episode how Dilaf had 2D a 2D personality like
Yeah.
character.
That was that was
Well,
that was Esther, I think.
Yeah.
oh, well then Esther. You know how there is a 2D, you said Dilaf had a 2D character?
hmm
Well, that's kind of resolved with
Yeah.
the the
The
unmasking
gag,
or uncovering.
Right.
the
Like it
gag
was
that.
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
I thought
then
that was a really
yeah.
cool reveal because did you guys catch that connection? His like wife or whatever who died
Yeah.
was the
Yes.
Elantrian that Raiden had read about.
Wait,
Yes.
Or not the
really?
Elantrian, the
Mhm.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you read about someone?
Remember, it was when Serena was in Elantris and Raiden
He's
told her
doing
about a
study
woman
stuff.
who was like healed, but it didn't work, and she like
Mhm.
had the effects of the shell or whatever. And then
Yeah.
she like eventually jumped off a win or a wall.
Oh,
Because of the pain was so bad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was Dilof's wife.
but okay. Talk about Hrathen. Hrathen.
Yeah. So Rathan. What a guy.
I don't
All
know.
right.
You guys talk about you guys, or at least Elliot wasn't emotionally connected to the characters, but I felt really like emotionally connected to Hrathen's storyline. I thought it was really powerful at the end.
No, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Yeah,
um,
it was.
just his whole arc is like the best part of this book, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've kind of feel. Do you think that do you think Sanderson wanted Hrathen to die, knowing that Serene, like, okay, so you know how an artist will leave something in there that you don't really know why? So why does
Mhm.
Sanderson end without giving Hrathen a chance to talk to Serena, like actually, and say, "Hey, I kind of like you,"
Um, because he's just like that tortured lover, you know?
Well,
which
because
exactly
his
why
religion
does
for
God why does Sanderson? I just said God.
Why is, oh my God.
no,
I
Sanderson is your
just
god.
Brandon Sanderson, have you guys seen that
no,
article? You
No.
know
I
what I'm
just kind of like
referencing?
I'm thinking of him as the God of the in his as his books because I mean I don't know.
Sure, whatever.
It's just why does he do that? You know, it's kind of like why does he
Um,
choose
I think it's kind of like so
Freudian slip? Oh my
Hrathen
gosh,
this
The
whole
Freudian
time.
Tor the
slip.
tor Freudian slipping about a tortured lover thing and then mentioning God. Uh,
Um, sorry, I think it's because so Hrathen's deal is like I think because he had to die in that moment. So like Hrathen's whole deal is he's like questioning this religion.
Hmm.
And so, like, the moment he's like, no, I'm gonna stand up for what I actually believe in,
Yep.
it's kind of like him making that sacrifice and showing his like character arc is complete. And so, like, it's just like a tragedy, I guess.
Yeah.
But do you
Uh,
guys remember the first line of Hrathen's first
that was
chapter where he
cool.
says,
That was cool.
like Hrathen was the savior of Arlon, and then like at the end it
Yes.
ties it back into
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
that
And
was
in the
cool.
end, he
I
really
love
was the
that.
savior. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
I do have something to say.
Okay.
I think I was thinking about this. Hrathen is kind of like Judas, a little, but like with
Okay.
with redemption.
I mean,
What?
No, not actually,
okay.
not at all. I'm
No,
cutting that
no,
out.
Okay,
no,
good.
no. I don't.
Yeah, because
Um,
I think like we see him have this wrestling of sorts, and like I think what's interesting about Sanderson's worlds is, religion is such a big deal in all of them, and you see this brokenness within religion, which I don't know if that's reflecting how he feels about maybe his religion or whatever else, but like you definitely see throughout each world there is this like wrestling that they do and how important religion is to them. And like, it's interesting because, sorry, because Hrathen just really struggles with that. And you see how he's like looking at Delof and he's like, oh, like he has this like passion and zeal, and I just am kind of going through the motions. Like my prayers aren't even like actual prayers, like, praising whoever his God is. It's just like supplication, or like he feels like he needs to be fasting because that's what he should do. And so I think it's interesting to see like that resolve itself at the end, like you were talking about. But yeah.
Anything more about characters? Or are we good? Okay, we're good.
All right. Yeah.
sorry. No, I had some. I forgot I was muted.
Oh
I
no,
do have
okay, go
something to say. Um, I feel like I do have a minor criticism with some of his side characters. Just felt so like it felt like he was trying to force personalities onto them, and it
like
just like
Case.
it wasn't landing. No, more like I guess you could say Case, but more
like
like
bullshit up.
there were
Right.
some just lines that I kind of cringed at when he was trying to give personality to like random Elantrians or like even like people like Lukel, or like Shuden and Aondel. It was just like
Yeah,
it
I
just
don't like Lukel and his wife at all.
I don't
yeah.
mind Luco. I have something to say.
Yeah.
Um, another gripe. I feel like this is kind of with. Should I say? Are we talking about prose? Actually, this might be prose.
Nope, that's its own section.
Okay, I'll
Nope,
wait then.
shut up. Moving on.
Essentially. Okay,
Okay.
we need to go quicker because we don't have
Yep.
enough.
Plot.
We need
Sorry.
to
I have a lot to say about plot.
Okay, plot. Let's go.
the plot. I thought the plot was really fascinating and engaging.
Well,
Oh,
evidently
all
Elliot didn't.
Well, I think Sanderson's one of his strong suits is his plots. It's
Yeah.
like intricately woven plots. I
Yeah.
I
think
all the rest of my points are about plot. Um, can I start us off with something I didn't like?
Yeah, that's what this is all about.
Okay. Actually, no, I'll start off with a positive. I have something positive to say. Not yesterday, last week, I was gonna say something about Hrathen and Serene, and then I was like, no, we'll edit it out. But then when I was editing the episode, I was like, actually, that's a good point, Elliot. Why did you shut yourself up? And so I'm gonna say it again. So
Okay.
there was these two. They were both in part one. There was these two scenes that kind of shows I the the nature of Serene, how like Serene and Hrathen's characters interact. So like they're similar,
Yeah.
right? But then like Hrathen ultimately is kind of a failure,
Mhm.
and Serene is a success. So there's that scene that at the end of, I think it was chapter 21 is the scene where Hrathen is like, all right, Dilaf, you gotta go back to Forzuel. And
Doorbell.
yeah, and we kind of realize, yeah, Hrathen really isn't in
Yeah.
control here. Dilaf is. And
Yeah.
then there's also this scene where um the scene where like Serene, when she wants to go to Elantris to do her widow's trial,
Mm.
she goes to Iden and is like, I want to do this. And she's like, I'll let you have some merchant stuff from Teod. And it's kind and Iden kind of I he has to, but it's also like his greed, because if he doesn't do that, he would have not made enough money, and he wouldn't be the richest man, so he wouldn't be king by his own system. And so I think it's these two things where it's like Serene showing like her like it's like Serena showing she's in control, and like
Yeah.
Hrathen realizing he's not, and it's these two moments that are like the breaking apart of the characters almost. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's cool for sure. Something else like that actually just made me think of this. So you guys have obviously seen The Princess Bride, right?
Yeah.
So it's so funny to me, speaking of King Evanto or however you say his name, for some reason they like when I pictured them in my head and like how they act, it was like the king and queen and Princess Bride who are like super old. And she's kind of like, yeah, well, I'm gonna go, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, that's great, moving on. Like they're just kind of like so like it doesn't feel like I don't know, like I think like they're portrayed as like loving parents, but like I just feel like that whole area, I just was kind of like, oh, okay. Like it just felt forced almost. Where it's like, yeah, my mom and dad, so great. Moving on. I don't know, it just was weird.
Yeah.
That's just me,
I think
maybe.
he kind of wanted it to feel like that. I feel like he wanted it to feel grading, so that way Serena would, so that way you'd be like, something's off, so that way you'd be on the same page as Serena and try to figure
Oh,
it out
yeah.
yourself. But you already know, because Raiden, so, starts off with, Raiden getting taken by the Shadow. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but it
So,
still kind of makes you want to figure out what's happening.
mhm. Anyone else have any thoughts about the plot?
I have a bunch, but I
well,
don't want to just be talking. Simon, you go.
so so most of the plot was just like, or at least there's a lot of political intrigue and like
Hmm.
a lot of political like stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a risk of it being like really slow and boring. And at some parts it almost felt like that. But I think for the
I would
most
agree.
part, and that was mainly in the first half, at least for,
Yeah.
like in my like, but I think it picks up a lot at a certain point, and I think the plot is really engaging, and I think he weaves the different viewpoints together well,
Hmm.
so that it's like almost. it's like there's always something happening, and
Right.
it's paced pretty fastly, I think.
Yeah.
Like for being like a slow burn book, it's paced fast, yeah.
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 Yeah. Uh, something. This is all right. There's these two moments that I felt like this.
I don't understand. Hey Siri, I have this.
Just what?
What, Esther? We could hear
I
that.
somebody said something, it engaged my Siri.
Funny.
I'm
Did you
sorry.
guys hear that?
Yes.
But yeah,
So weird. Okay, well you have to edit that out. Sorry.
sorry.
We're gonna have to take it from this.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, go
Uh,
ahead.
You failed,
there was
Esther.
there was these two moments where I felt like they didn't pay off to anything. So they're both in
Okay.
the first half. So there was that I had like a gripe or in the last episode where like Serene kind of immediately realized
Yeah.
she's like immediately like maybe the prince was killed. And okay, maybe I like that's not my problem. The problem is that doesn't really lead up to anything. She doesn't really investigate that. It's kind of just I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean she doesn't investigate that?
I don't know. I don't because it's like why does she need to immediately think that if nothing comes about of it? Because she
Because
doesn't
I
like
didn't get her weird vibes.
I I don't know.
I feel like maybe
I
this
think we talked about this
sounds,
last week.
yeah, we talked about this last week.
No,
This probably sound pick me, but it's like genuinely, if I have a gut feeling about someone, I'm just kind of like, I just in the back of my mind, I'm just gonna be thinking about them. And if they keep doing stuff, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I just didn't have a good feeling about that
This is
person.
how
And
she judges.
you're wrong.
This
It's
is how
like,
she judges people walking around the
no.
street, and she thinks they're gonna
yeah,
attack
because
her or not.
I
anyway,
no, my gripe
Well,
isn't judging people now. It's the fact that that didn't pay off to anything. I feel like her thinking her like being like maybe Prince Raoden was killed. It's like there's no plot line where she investigates that. There's no like it's
um, well, doesn't she talk to the other guys about it in her circle? That's
I
the other thing. I just realized Serena has no female friends.
that's true.
yeah, she
Just
does.
That's why she's picked me.
you're right.
Honest, that's
She has
Uh,
that group. She's teaching how to.
yeah,
They're
Just
not
the
her
group she's
friends though.
teaching
She
to
said
sword
that.
fight.
yeah.
That's true.
There's
Yeah,
always
that's
like
true.
I'm
She
never
said
Hayes is her
one of
friend.
they
them.
respect me, but they won't be my friend because they think that I'm.
I've never wanted them. I'm too high intellectually.
That's not what
Wait,
she said though. She realized that she's.
honestly, she should just transition. I think she kind of does it to herself, though.
That's what I just said. I said that she
Yeah.
realized that
Right.
she went. Oh, sorry, that sounded so annoying when I said it that way. No, sorry. I just meant to say like backtrack. I was gonna say like yeah, like she was like, "Oh my gosh, I, did this and I formulated a relationship to where I was like talking down to them instead of just like being with them." And I
Yeah,
don't think I've ever been taught how to do that because we've always had to like fight for her spot and fought to be heard in like these political settings.
Well, it's
Um,
like also women can like so I would say it's very not human, but like Earth. Like if there were other societies that didn't have the women's rights, women having to advocate for their rights and then having to advocate for this, blah blah blah. Like, you know, this is all like kind of related to Earth because like you're kind of copying the history of the world a little bit, which
those are
very
familiar.
relatable because like Erlon was or Arlon
Yeah.
was was basically, I don't want to say misogynistic, but they didn't really let women actually
uh,
help be in the government. So,
yeah. Idon's whole
whereas
personality was
Teo
misogynist.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, well, he was also psycho,
He's
but
also that
Te
scene.
So,
Teo was
does human
Teo was
so
So we
yeah.
want to.
Okay, well,
I
Teo was pretty it's pretty normal. Like it's as if it's removed from Earth. They never I'm not saying they never, but they probably didn't have problems of having to advocate for women's rights, having to advocate for something like that. So they kind of have an objective perspective. And so when Serene comes to Erlon, it's like or Arlon, it's like in the city of Kai or K. it's like, well, it sounds like she's, it can come off as she's, accusing and yelling at everyone, but in reality, like sometimes that's what's required to
Yeah, get their
take on people
Yeah.
who are just like scoff and don't care,
Yeah.
I
or
totally, sorry. Like a couple months ago, we were talking, there was this guy who we knew who has read Elantris, and we were talking about it, and he mentioned that there was like a sex sacrifice scene, and I was like, what? That sounds like a crazy book. And I completely forgot about it until it happened, and I was like, oh yeah.
So that we don't need to talk about that scene extensively,
Yeah, we
I
don't
but
need,
it brings up
exactly
a
why did he do that? Like, why would Brandon do
okay.
that?
We can edit this part out if it's like, but it's like, why? Like, what's the deal with the Jesker Misters? I feel like that
That's
was
what I was
not
gonna say.
explored.
That's something he's planting for sequels. We're gonna
that's
learn more
totally,
about
yeah.
the
So he's
Jesker
like,
the
Well, it's also
Jesker.
50
like
years from now, you'll find out what
that's
that.
he does this like in multiple books where it's like, uh, gosh, like why does Brandon just like like why does he just like have
What
like
does that have to do
weird
with the list?
dissection stuff going on? Because Elantris has the exact same
Oh.
stuff where it's like a visceral, brutal scene where it's like,
That,
what's Brandon trying to convey here,
Yeah, why did he feel the need to write that? That's what I'm saying. Like that
Like
image
maybe
was
he's trying to
so
convince,
vivid.
yeah,
I felt like I was standing in the sewer watching it happen and I'm traumatized. So it's like,
exactly. I'm like, maybe he has some unknown reason, but like, I feel like he could have done Iodine a little bit
wait till you guys
better,
read
as
Gene
in he
Wolfe.
could have made Iodine more of a like a character that had more depth, and it would have been more satisfying for Serene to
because
find out what was
it does
happening.
it felt like it was such a jump too. But
It,
that's
yeah,
just
it felt so like,
like it just was like, oh yeah, I guess like the king like goes in the hallway sometimes at night. And then it's like,
oh,
boom.
Oh,
what is
No,
he
Like,
doing?
okay.
because he's preparing for the big reveal of Dilloff and the
Well,
epiphany
yeah.
of Raoden, but like he just had to add it in there. It's like I feel like that would have been a little bit cooler if you just expanded on Iodine and made him even more of like a pig instead of a
Yeah.
psycho.
I don't create, okay. What if like, I think it would have been cool if like, this would take a lot of rewrites, but if he had made Iodine like likable, I know,
That's what
crazy.
I'm saying. That's what I think would have been a better approach. I
Like, okay,
agree.
make Aiden likable. Like, he can still be sexist. That's fine. That's you make him likable. He's still a bad king. Make him
Yeah.
like likable, and Serene's kind of like has this dilemma. Like, okay, this guy's a likable person, but he's
Mhm.
like kind of sucks as a king, and he's
Yeah.
misogynistic. But
Yeah.
and then this comes, and it's like, whoa, what the heck? I thought this
Yeah.
guy was like at least a good person, and
Yeah.
then it's
No, I
I don't.
definitely
Yeah,
think
that would be
it would
cool
have
if
been
you
way
it had a
cooler.
second thing.
It would
Yeah.
have made the
If you
moment way more
exposed
like,
like what was going on rather than just
Because you're
whoa.
kind
a
of just like,
psychotic
oh,
thing.
he's like a weird, and then you're like, okay, but like, I guess what? You know, and it just was, it felt even more confusing to me, actually.
I feel like if me, I feel like Brandon would probably. Never mind. Actually, I'm not gonna say that.
do we have anything else to say on plot?
No.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I muted you, Esther. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Why?
do that.
There we go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Um,
I didn't mean to do
No,
that.
you're fine. Yeah, we're just
so
silencing women. Okay, we're misogynistic in this group too. I see how it is. And with International Women's Day being tomorrow or next week, wow, it's
wow.
crazy. Sorry. When it's posted, it'll be.
Oh, that was glorious. Oh,
Gosh, if I was in person, this would not be okay.
Oh my goodness. How would we do that in person?
I'm so sorry, Esther.
women should be women should
Did you
be
do that or
seen,
someone else?
not
I did that.
Oh
heard.
my gosh.
Esther, women should be seen, not heard.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I am
Not
the
really,
only
though.
woman
Not
in this
really. I don't
group.
believe
Okay, I'm
that.
standing up for myself here.
Esther, yeah, you go, girl.
Don't make us kick you again.
No, I'll just be the host next time so I can kick you guys out.
Okay.
No, sorry.
So I don't think we need to really talk about the prose and structure again. We
Wait,
already
Yeah,
did that
let's.
last
we
week.
kind of
No,
already
wait.
did.
Wait,
But we
wait.
already talked about it enough last week.
I just have one more thing that I hate.
Then we don't need
I
to
don't
talk
hate.
about it.
Okay, we don't need to then.
We know the prose isn't very good in this book. We agree on that,
Yep.
and we talked about it last week, and I don't think we need to talk about it more, unless you guys disagree.
I think we kind
Although,
of covered it pretty well.
yeah,
Wait, what is going on?
he's sad. I don't
Why?
know, because I wouldn't let him make his point.
Okay.
Okay, this is Cosmere Connections. If you don't want Cosmere spoilers, or like, it's not Cosmere spoilers, but if you just don't want to know anything, skip this section.
If you don't want to know anything.
Yeah. So
You want to be a dumb idiot.
if you haven't read
section.
like any of these books, then get out of here.
Actually leave.
By the way,
Especially if you're a woman.
Yeah.
whoa. By the
Yay.
way, if your mom is a woman, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
If she's not, what the heck? She's...
Okay.
All right, Cosmere Connections.
Yeah, that was perfect, Simon. That was great.
I can hear Jonas laughing all the way from here through the computer and through the wall. And he's on the other side. So that's really great.
That's funny.
Okay,
I have
two
one...
rooms, the bathroom and
Yeah,
the
through
office.
like 3 rooms. Anyway,
Wow.
sorry.
So obviously Hoyd, that's
Yeah.
you don't need to talk about that. But I do have one very cool one that I would not have caught if I hadn't looked at the copper mind. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take this off.
Wait,
Oh,
okay, wait,
boy.
let me get my coffee.
So do you guys? I'll wait for you guys to get back.
Okay.
Do you guys remember 2 things? Oh, before I say this one, we see. Okay, Jonas, you were asking what the shards on this planet were.
Oh,
It's devotion and dominion.
yeah.
Wait,
He
okay,
says,
let's do that important information.
Devotion and Dominion.
He says that in Arcana.
So devotion's obviously word, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Huh?
Dominion is where they get Domi.
and both of these shards are dead.
Domi!
Wait, devotion and dominion?
Yeah, they're both dead. Which
Yeah,
is
dome.
interesting.
I didn't thought of that. What the heck?
How do you know?
Dome-
How do you know?
dome-
So where's the well? Where's the well?
we saw the well. We saw
Yeah,
one
we
of
saw
the
the well,
wells.
Jonas.
Oh, that was a
A
well?
pool.
Yes!
That's one of the.
I thought that was a
Yeah, that's what was
perpendicularity.
in it.
Yeah, it is a
For a thumbnail?
perpendicularity.
So why can't? Oh, and for the vessel, they have
thought-
to be aligned with the shard.
I'm sure.
That's why.
I'm sure you guys thought when the Elantrians go in the pool, you thought they died. Wrong. They don't
Yeah,
die.
I
They
knew
get
they didn't-
transported.
Yeah.
Well, I thought.
Oh,
they
that's
did.
so that's yeah. I don't think because Hoyd goes in it, and obviously he didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he be in
Well,
another?
okay. Well, that scene was added into the 10th anniversary edition, so
Oh,
I
was
hadn't
it?
read that. I didn't read that the first time I read the book, but
But
Same.
also I'm pretty
I also
sure.
did.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that
Wait, what
so.
chapter are we supposed to be in, Elliot? I mean, Simon.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
go to chapter 97 of Oathbringer on page 906.
Thinking.
You might have different pages, Esther, because you have the mass market pages.
Yeah,
right?
I'm.
Oh, you do. Then
I'm sure.
yeah, I don't know the page number of that. I don't think so. Okay, when they first found the well, I don't know when it was.
Wait, okay,
They brought the Elantrian to the well and they put him in the well, and he you could tell he was very his pain went away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Did it say his name?
Who?
The Elantrian that they put away.
Sailing.
No, that was-
No. The one that
No, that was his friend.
before
The one
him.
that had. Yeah, I don't remember if it said his name in Elantris.
Oh,
Chapter 97.
the
Yeah.
Haod.
But his name
the Hoad.
is
The Hoad.
Rhino.
His name is.
Right. No.
Oh, the first. Oh, I thought you meant the first one ever, and I was like, I don't think they named it, but you just meant the first one that he put in the
First,
pool?
yeah, that when they first found the well in Elantris.
Okay.
His name
so
is Rhino, and he is an Oathbringer.
on page.
I don't know the name. I don't know the
Wait,
page.
what
So
page
it is a
it?
perpendicularity for
It
that
is.
reason.
Yeah,
Wait,
Wait,
but
what
how far
where is
into it is it?
Yeah.
it's it's near the end of the book.
Is he-
or
Okay.
chapter 97?
Right, but is
Is
it this section where Kaladin rode the storm?
is he a what's it called when you're like the person who's the
Was he the?
was he was he the guy who
Oh,
was like
wait, I found the
Wait,
section.
Jonas, Elliot, stop. Jonas, keep going.
Oh,
was he was he one of the guys? Was he like an ardent? I'm thinking like he is
He was
Arteth,
the. I don't know if you got. So
Arteth,
okay,
Ardent.
let me explain what was happening in Oathbringer. Remember, this is full
Yeah.
spoilers.
Full spoilers.
So remember the plot line in Oathbringer where they went to the capital and then
Yeah.
they were coming back
Battle of
after.
Thalen City.
No, they were coming back and then they were gonna
Oh.
fight the Battle of Thalen City.
Yeah.
But they were in
Oh.
Shadesmar. They were in Shadesmar and they come
Yeah.
across a lighthouse. And Kaladin creeps into the lighthouse and he finds a lighthouse keeper in there who's like a fortune teller. And he tells Kaladin's fortune with like a mysterious glass ball that we don't know anything about yet. But the guy who tells the fortune is an Elantrian named Rhino. And he's the Elantrian that we gets
Does
put
he
into
ever
the
say his
pool.
name?
he says Merciful Domi though.
Yeah, he says Merciful Domi. That's how we know.
Oh.
Wait, okay,
So
okay.
how's it? So how's he know the future then?
We don't know anything about that. I think that's another Cosmere magic system but
Okay.
he tells the future, Kaladin's future, which we can get into that at another time.
When
But
we read Oathbringer.
I actually forgot about that part. I still don't know what his future is. So
Okay, where does it say Merciful Domi? Because I don't see that
Oh,
anywhere.
okay, wait.
Oh.
Go to the section. It's the section starts with
It's at the
Kaladin
very-
rode the storm.
the very end.
Oh, I thought that it was as he stepped into the lighthouse.
No.
No, at the end of the exchange. When wait. Okay.
I have
Oh.
Dance of Paradise stuck in my head.
Okay, wait, you saw something. How impossible, unless you're invested. Merciful Domi, a surge binder? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, there we go.
Okay, wait. So Shin are just like normal people, right? Because it describes them as Shin.
Yeah, Shin, I think, are just like a nice little mix.
Yeah, they're like white people.
I've always imagined so when I first Zeph, I always imagine he's the first Shin person, and I always
Wait, okay.
imagined
Can I be like? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Elliot. I'll say this.
I've always imagined him as One Punch Man. Do you guys know who that is?
Kind of hard not to. if you know what that is.
I'll send the picture later. But so I've imagined all the Shin as Asian immediate for some reason.
Wait,
same.
That's exactly opposite.
I know it's
Yeah.
exactly
So I was about to
opposite.
say.
Wait, did
because
all
what
of
if
us imagine it that way?
No, okay.
No,
Let me just say this:
because
Alethi are people who look like they're tan
Middle
and
East.
like slightly like thinner eyes. Okay, like maybe like a bit of Spanish heritage, maybe a bit of Pakistani, like you know what I mean. Like that's kind of what they look like,
Not
right?
really the same, but okay.
But the Alethi are described as Asian, and
Alethis are Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guess what the Shin have?
the Shin are
they're-
described as like Westerners.
Yeah.
Wide
And
eyes,
bright
right? And guess
eyes.
what happens? Guess I'm a little bit racist for
No,
like 2
don't
seconds,
do
but
that,
like
John. No, stop. Don't, please. Just don't.
Yeah,
I didn't do
we don't
anything
wanna-
freaking.
I
I'm
didn't
just
know what
saying.
you're saying.
I
Compared
sent,
to
I,
this
that,
in.
I sent a picture of One Punch Man.
I'm not being
It's
racist.
funny.
Brandon Sanderson's being racist.
What I think is funny is that
not.
even though I read the description, I still imagined Zeth this entire time as like an Asian guy. Like
Yeah.
that's
Because Shin sounds like an
interesting.
Asian word.
Yeah.
It sounds Asian. Shin.
No, literally,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly how I imagined him.
Yeah.
Elliot. I just looked it
Yeah,
up.
but like with like white robes.
Yeah.
Freaking
It's funny how that works.
Okay.
Cool.
Final thoughts and what?
Well, yeah, so everyone already gave our ratings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just thought this would be a fun thing if we have like 10 minutes that we want to use, and go over like other like reviews from like other people online because I feel like that's something that I'd like to do, like for like movies or other things, and just like see what other people think. Okay, so I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
And
Also-
we can see.
Yeah. We'll link all the reviews in the description.
Yeah,
We're cool.
because we're cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put that up here.
Let me make us big.
Well, it's good. You can't show full meeting window. I
Oh,
don't
you
think-
guys are. I was looking at Goodreads on my own thing. That's funny.
Okay, so I guess you can't see. We'll do that. Okay.
Matthew. Let's read Matthew's review. We should read.
Wait, did you guys find reviews or like?
No.
or-
Yeah.
Let's read
I
a five.
haven't looked yet.
Should we read a five?
We can just like read ones that look good, I guess. I don't know. I just was kind of thinking like the top one.
We-
This
we
person has
should-
57,000.
Patrick, I love that guy.
Really?
I watch his YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Okay.
He's a great YouTuber.
So yeah,
And
I guess this was in 2018, which is a while ago. That's
That
weird.
was
That's
7 years ago.
yeah, 7 years ago.
Wow.
Right, and so I think we agree with this first part. He said it's a great debut novel, but at the same time, it's also Sanderson's weakest Cosmere book. Once you read all his
no,
other
it's
books,
not.
it's really clear. What?
No, it's not.
We know it's not. Yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
been written yet.
True.
Um, did you just stand up and throw down Wind and Truth, Elliot, or what did you do?
What?
He's like out of his chair for some reason.
What the heck?
Chair
I wasn't
fell
looking.
over.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I jumped back. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No. It just was funny. I was like, what's going on? Okay. So yeah, obviously now we agree, like Wind and Truth is his weakest one. But Magic Systems is really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is we actually have already talked about this.
Wait,
this is a very
he's got two problems. Hold on a minute.
Two problems I have with the book are in its world building and magic
What?
systems. The writing
Oh, wait, those are like the
two
best
good
parts of the
that we
books.
said, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
like the
that's
only
funny.
parts I have no problem with.
Yeah. So he says the writing is good and immersive, but if you clearly have read Sanderson's Cosmere works, you'll see how inferior his writing is compared to them. This means Sanderson always improves with each book he writes, but for the standalone, the scope of the world building seems constricted. I wouldn't say that. Taking place in two big cities of the world of Cell, with the exception of Elantris, there isn't enough world building done to the settings, which made them seem really small. This holds true, especially the city of K, which like we talked about how he talked about all these different other things when he was doing in the world building. Like we felt like we understood the other cultures as well as we did with K.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that.
The world doesn't feel huge, but I don't think it needs to feel huge.
Exactly. It doesn't have to have the scope. It shouldn't. It doesn't have to have the
shouldn't.
scope of Stormlight.
It's just And it also in Arcanum Unbounded, Sanderson was talking about how like in Cell there's a bunch of continents and they're like unaware of each other, and so it should feel small.
We're gonna read Emperor's Soul in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And that takes place on Cell, but there's absolutely zero connection to Aralon or Opalon or whatever. So that's an interesting.
Yeah.
No, Opalon is like the continent or something.
I thought. Wait, so Warbreaker and Elantris are in the same. Sorry.
Emperor's Soul.
Wait,
Cell
what's that?
and-
Oh, okay, yeah.
Soul is another book that takes place on Cell. Anyway, but yeah, so then he said the magic systems are usually one of the strongest factors of Sanderson's book, and this time it's quite underwhelming. The magic of Aondor, Clayshawn, and Doc Hor all make their appearance in only the last 60 pages.
That is true.
That's true. But for me, I took that as he's like, so we weren't supposed to know about those until the end. And I think we're supposed to be like, oh, but like, or we're supposed to like, it's like setting up for future books. And at least for me, that makes me very excited for sequels.
I think if you know Brandon Sanderson as an author too, you get to a point where you're like I think you get to where you're like, okay, I'm expecting that he's going to use this because I don't understand what's going on right now. Like he's going to use it in some capacity in the future. And that's funny how he says it felt like Sanderson tried to cram too much information into this standalone. There aren't enough pages, and I was like, I mean, I felt like that way kind of with the characters. I feel like he didn't actually give enough information, but that's just, I guess, his personal opinion.
Yeah.
So
he still gave it 3.5 stars, which I feel like is pretty average.
Yeah, that's fair. Good review.
Should we read like a really dumb 1-star?
Wait, yes. I actually
found a 1-star.
No, I found one. Wait, who's
You did?
controlling it?
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I can't show it though. Wait, who's controlling? Go back up. Go all the way to the bottom. I just saw something.
Who's controlling?
Wait, who's controlling?
Wait, where? I don't know. I'm looking. I can't see.
Oh, Esther, you're controlling?
Oh, yeah.
My bad. Can you go all the way to the top?
Yeah, where?
All the way to the top, where it says like, and then click on 1-star reviews. Wait.
Oh, okay. I'm like literally like geriatric when it comes to this.
Sorry.
So what do I do? You have to walk me through this.
Go to where it says community reviews. Click on 1-star, Sorry, no, down more.
Okay, okay.
All right, see where it says a little.
Where it says 1 star? No.
Right above. See all the like. There's 1 star, 2 stars.
Yep, click that. Yep.
There. All right, go
Okay.
down, go down. Keep scrolling down. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
No. Oh, wait, more. Yeah. What the heck?
I
All
haven't
right.
show more.
All right, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
What's the guy's name? Or
Oh,
I
what?
forgot. I forgot.
You'll just recognize it when he sees
Oh,
it.
there it is. There it is. Go on Nella's
Not-
review. Yep. Wait, no, Nella's review.
No.
Wait. Sick. Wait.
You
So
couldn't even write the extra eight.
what is your best book, and you don't have an idea of how to describe? Stop! I'm reading it.
Oh my gosh, the premise on the surface was interesting. When you thought about it, it made no sense at all. How would nobody from the civilization have known how their magic worked when people from other civilizations seemed to understand the basic geography?
Can you go to Andrea?
Pretty stupid. Wait,
Why did she?
Andrea?
Why?
What was
Wait,
Can you go
why?
down to the Spanish one? I was
No,
reading
no.
the Spanish one.
No. We're not reading the Spanish one. Sorry.
I can read it. I want to see it.
No one can. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We want to know what everyone thinks.
It's also pretty stupid that every problem in this book could have been solved by people filling in a hole. Maybe nobody knew how to do it, but the fact that that's all it would have taken to fix it. I'm confused what he's even saying.
Why does it begin with a quotation mark?
He's
Yeah.
quoting someone, I guess.
Himself. I think
But
this is funny.
It's
The
an
characters
open.
were the most uninspired and one-dimensional I think I've ever experienced in the dialogue. Felt like listening to a dysfunctional Mormon family's dinner party.
Dang. How does he know what a dysfunctional
That was
Mormon
funny.
dinner?
Is
Family
he
sounds
saying
like-
that because
Wait,
Brandon
this guy looks like
I
an
know, but-
actual. This looks like it's a real 1 star review.
Stephen
Yeah.
Ward.
Prose.
Wait,
Interesting
how do you
magic.
really like Brandon Sanderson, but this is the first book of his that you've read?
Well, he says he's watched all the.
He
his writing
likes
lectures.
like he's watched his.
Oh, his writing class?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well-
like he probably found his writing class and was like, oh, this guy seems really interesting, and he picked up a lot of. If you find a guy you like and you're like, I should read one of his books, don't start with his first one. That's bound to be his
Yeah,
Go
worst.
into your search the most popular, and then if you don't like
Yeah.
that, then like, okay, then I'll
It's
do
like,
something.
Yeah.
when I'm listening
That's-
to music, unless like if I find a new band, unless their first album is their biggest, I don't start with their first album.
Literally, yeah, precisely.
Well,
Characters
Sorry.
are annoyingly goody-goody. I'm sorry that they're just a good person. Big deal.
Tough.
Yeah.
He's like, I want trauma. I want Vin.
Oh,
and
actually,
He came for Shalon and he got Serenity.
no, literally, he came for Shalon. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
I do
Okay.
think the too much telling instead of showing is a real like that's so
Okay.
real. Like
This
I think
book was aimed at Sunday school kids.
I guess we're the target audience.
Yeah, evidently.
it
Yeah.
does seem like he did go on to read on hopefully Warbreaker, Mistborn, and Stormlight.
Yeah, so
Well,
he's not like
He's
you
not
know.
like I'm never reading Brandon Sanderson. No, okay, but he brought up a good point. No, he said go back down. Too much telling instead of showing. That's a big problem. Okay, maybe this is a personal thing, but I've become really attracted to the type of like writing. I don't know if that's the right word.
What? Sorry.
Not like
We
No,
know what
like-
you mean.
to the type
Yeah.
of writing where it's like
Mm,
like instead of being like or even
yeah.
I don't know, we're like just like super like they don't tell you anything and like so like in Gene Wolfe, one of my favorite authors, he won't tell you anything. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, next like standing next to him was a Blips Boyd block box." And that's not a real thing. But it's
That's
like he won't-
bad.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think that's bad. I don't think it's bad to like tell, but like I think Brandon Sanderson tells too much. He tells us like, oh,
He's so excited to share this with everyone.
I don't
You just-
care. No, just kidding.
I don't think.
Hey, buddy, I'm not done talking. Sideland, I think that's his name. The Pope, basically.
I'm
the
speaking.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm speaking.
No, like Sideland, the Pope. It's like, actually, I feel like Steinlen, the Pope, the guy, they were like, he kind of isn't. What was his point? Like, he's not wise or something. Like,
He
he
was,
Oh,
just
you're talking about the priest in the book. I thought you were just you were like the Pope, and I was like, wait,
no,
why are
it's
we
like
talking about
no, the
Catholicism?
Pope, like the Pope of Shu Korah.
Yeah, the priest.
The Pope, no,
Yeah.
he was the Pope.
no, he was the patriarch. It was
Yeah.
called the patriarch.
Which is like basically the Pope.
Well, it's different, but
All
yeah.
right, whatever. It
But
doesn't matter.
no, like what this is when I was reading about it, that's when I realized it. That I'm just like focusing on him as an example. But like
Yeah.
they were like, oh yeah, he's not wise and he's he's like he's I don't the problem is they told us like his personality instead of
Okay,
showing us
I
like
agree with that insofar as a lot of the characters were like that, especially the side characters. And sometimes that's okay, sometimes it's not, and I just don't think it worked very well in
yeah
this book. But with a lot of the world building and magic system, I don't think it has to be like Gene Wolfe. If every book was
yeah
written by
no
Gene Wolfe writes, I would never read a book again because while I love Gene Wolfe, it's just it's like it's the same thing like the opposite side of the spectrum is Stephen King. I love Stephen King, but if every book was written by like Stephen King writes a book, I would never read again. You know
mm,
what I mean? So like sometimes a book has to tell you something.
yeah yeah
Sometimes it has it has to be like
Yeah.
Gene Wolfe or Eric Stevenson.
I'm
Mhm.
fine I guess I'm fine with him explaining the magic system sometimes, but
Yeah. Basically, this guy's like, yeah, I wanted to read this because, he was going to take over
Oh,
Robert
yeah,
Garland's Wheel of Time. And he was like, it seems like an interesting premise, but the three-person narrative really suffers. Okay. The main story of the prince is
interesting.
rather engaging, although somewhat corny, as he is a massively perfect character who has no flaws. His wife is a stereotypical plucky female fantasy character who intends to save the realm with such brilliant advice. Well, why don't we pay the serfs and they'll be happier? Really? Good thought, sweetheart. Lastly, the most boring and ridiculous character, a priest
What?
had to convert an entire country over to a new religion in 3 months. He is obviously the villain, and his sidekick seems like Gollum's cousin.
What? I don't think
Ridiculously
this.
enough, we are told, not shown, like you were saying, that this
Wait,
guy is an ace converter of souls.
wait, but
And
no, we were. Wait, I disagree. We were shown that because we saw whenever someone brought up Dula, people would be like, really. It was like
yeah.
people would be like very hesitant to speak
Hmm.
about it, and we were like, well, what happened to Dula Del? And then
Yeah,
we later learned that Hrathen had actually collapsed it, and I thought
right.
that was really. I
I
thought that
think
was.
this guy's too
No,
impatient
that had like,
to
but
do
it's like,
it.
what was he supposed to do? Have like a flashback every time they
That would
mentioned
have been
something past?
terrible.
Like that would have been
That's
horrible.
bad. Yeah.
The one thing left
Yeah.
I hated about Aragon was the explanation and the flashbacks.
Okay, but that's what's funny is he says Sanderson could have saved this character by making him sympathetic and someone who could be, but we feel shouldn't be rooting for. I feel like
Wait,
we are. I think that's what he does.
that's exactly what happened.
That's literally what happens. Is we're like, oh, we love
interesting.
him, but also we don't know what he's doing. It says we'll continue, but I'm starting to groan. Edit. Abandoned. What the heck?
Wait, oh, you didn't even finish the book? This is
That
not.
Boss
I
was his first book. Try Mistborn. I've read almost every single one and considered this his weakest. Oh,
this.
okay.
All right, can I share a personal gripe I have? You
Dawgs was his first book.
should not be rating and reviewing books if you are not finishing them.
Yep.
Because I've
I
read
agree.
books before where this book, I was bored out of my mind when I read this.
Hmm.
It took me 3 weeks. It's 400 pages. It took me 3 weeks to read.
Yeah.
But I finished it and I loved it. The ending saved it.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. That's like what was for me with Jane Eyre. Originally, so boring. Got to the middle. Oh, okay, picking up. Then I went through another phase. Not really sure. Then I made it to the end, and I was like, "This is
yeah.
changed my life. 5 out of 5."
Great
Sorry.
expectations too. That's how I felt about this too. It was like
Okay.
If you're halfway through and you say, "I'm gonna hop on Goodreads and just give it a 1-star review before I finish it, and I'm gonna write a little thing about it," that's stupid.
I agree. If you don't finish a book, you shouldn't give it
Yeah.
a 1
You
star.
deserve to be stuck in Wind and Truth Purgatory where all you can read is Wind and Truth, and that's all you can read.
Okay,
Wicked
we have to
Purgatory.
Yeah.
we have to wrap it up. We're all
Yeah,
Wind
we
and Truth
okay.
Purgatory.
Let's
Okay,
wrap.
so And that's a wrap.
All right, Jonas, outro us.
Thank you guys for listening to
That's
this episode of Concerning Cremlings, episode 2. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you will, comment your hot takes in the comment section, whether that's about the characters, world building, magic, all of that. And we will be picking up, now that we finish Elantris, we're going to be starting with White Sands. We're going to do volumes 1 through 3 because they're pretty short books over the next week. And then we'll be talking through all of those this next weekend. So yeah, but anyway, we hope you have a good week. And anything else?
You can find our schedule in the description. As well, in the description, our Instagram, which is at Concerning Cremlings, no space, _. And if you, so Concerning Cremlings _ no spaces. If you want to email us, thecremlings@gmail.com, I will respond, and I will give you, I'll email me, please.
Yeah, email me, please. I think we said something about like if we ever
No.
made, they would the first person to email.
Yeah, first person. We have yet to receive an email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Also, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Leave a comment.
Yeah. Anyway, we hope you speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. What?
Are we gonna say it? Are we gonna say the
Yeah.
Wait. What do I say before life? I say something before life and before death. I forgot.
You say until next time.
Until next time.
Oh yeah. Until next time, life before death.
Strength before weakness.
Wait, no.
Journey before destination.
Unless you're reading Wind and Truth.
Da-na-na.
Everyone wave
Okay.
and then.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, we have
Bye.
to go.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe.